Hi, I'm Yitzhak Berger. I teach Hebrew at Risha. Sefer Vayikra begins with what seems like a continuation of the end of Sefer Shemot. Vayikra el Moshe. And God called to Moshe from the Mishkan. And yet, when you look at the end of Sefer Shemot, that seems like a culmination. Klal Yisrael had directed finally their resources into the Mishkan rather than into the golden calf. And as a result, the presence of God descends into the Mishkan and amongst the people. In some sense, though, Vayikra needs to be seen as a continuation of that. And how are we to understand this kind of sequencing? When you think about it, the beginning of Sefer Vayikra, really its entire first half, also is similar to the end of Sefer Shemot in that it's a very, very detailed account of how Klal Yisrael is supposed to do certain things related to the Mishkan. At the end of Sefer Shemot, it's the donations and how they are to build the Mishkan and make the Bigdei Kehunah with the materials that are collected. In Sefer Vayikra, it's how the Avodah, the worship in the Mishkan, is supposed to be carried out. So what indeed is this relationship? Very simply, we can view the end of Sefer Shemot as a description of what Klal Yisrael needed to do in order to get the Shekhinah among them. They needed to direct their initiative to God in order for God to have, so to speak, a house, in order for Him to have a place to put His Shekhinah among the people. But in the end, it's a matter of sustaining that. And so in the beginning of Sefer Vayikra, there is literally a calling to Klal Yisrael. That calling comes to Moshe from that Mishkan, telling Klal Yisrael, this is what you have to do if you want to sustain the divine presence among you. And again, there's a very detailed description of how that is to be done. The Avodah in the Mishkan has to be done in accordance with the way God commands you to do it. The ultimate goal of that, of course, is that there should be a sustained feeling of the divine presence among Klal Yisrael in their day-to-day lives, not just in the Mishkan. And this speaks to the way the entire Sefer Vayikra is structured. The first half of Sefer Vayikra is about the Avodah and the Mishkan, concentrating substantially on the Kohanim themselves. The second half of Sefer Vayikra, as is widely noted, is really about expanding that Kedusha to all of Klal Yisrael and to all of Eretz Yisrael, and speaking not just of staying away from Tum'ah, which is really what Tahara, purity, is, as per the first half of Sefer Vayikra, but it's about something positive. Kedusha, the Kedoshim Tehiyu of the second half of Vayikra, is about reaching another level by means of the initiative that the Klal Yisrael are supposed to put in their effort to reach God. And so we have a sequence that begins with directing their initiative properly in order to gain the divine presence among them. Subsequently, we have the call for them to sustain that avodah in the Mishkan, and ultimately there is the realization of the Kedusha that spreads to all of Klal Yisrael and all of Eretz Yisrael in the latter half of Sefer Vayikra. Shabbat Shalom.